Hey, good morning, sunshine. Love you wherever you may be hiding. Does it matter? Does it matter that our history is some 4,000 years old and more? Scientists aren't even sure at this point. The Amazon rainforest was created over 4,000 years ago by man. Does it matter? Yeah, but we're here for such a brief time on this planet. Our history goes back and goes back and goes back. I don't even know when the recorded first record of man being on this planet was here and when we started to make a difference. The Neanderthals, per so-called our history and genealogy records. What I mean, this goes. We're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of years back. When you look at the different structures around the world, the pyramids, the Great Sphinx, uh, uh, the Aztec ruins. We're still looking for Atlantis. Um, does it matter? For such a brief time that we're here, does it matter? That's a tough question to ask somebody. You really kind of corner somebody, and you really kind of get them into that thought, that train of thought. You know, whether it's your flat earthers, whether it's your globalists, whether it's your bankers, whether it's your minivan mom. Does it matter? Well, see, I'm taking this a different way, sweet girl. The Aztecs said that as of 2012, the Aztec calendar ended it and it stopped, and there was to be no future past that point. The the Romans Roman Catholic Church would have us believe that the last pope, not the current pope, is the Roman Catholic Church, just whatever. But does it matter? Does it matter? Where I'm going with this, it's a little different than my norm. You know, let's just go 4,000 years. Let's just go because I'm in the middle of researching chapter 7 um, of the next book, and here's a genealogy record dating back some 4,000 years in the Amazon rainforest, which is man-made, and the scientists and researchers are proving that 4,000 years ago, man alongside a river took a area that was uninhabitable and turned it into the Amazon rainforest. And what a tremendous impact it had on a burnt out, dead area where nothing survived, nothing was growing because the soil at the actual level 4,000 years ago in the Amazon rainforest and in the Amazon region was barren wasteland and desert. So 4,000 years ago, without modern day equipment, man stepped in and created the rainforest. Now, granted, it didn't start out as the rainforest. It just started out as living dwellings, and it was probably part of the Aztecs, and it was probably this, and it was probably that, and so on and so on and so on, and that's all open for debate, and that's all that really has nothing to do with gardening and yard work and this and that, which is where my main mindset is. But does it matter? Well, let's let's step back and ask ourselves one other question as we're thinking about this. Our time here, our time in existence, what are we now? 70, 75, 80 years old, and we're dying. And the numbers are actually getting worse. But does it matter that since the 1950s, chemical companies and oil companies joining together have convinced the American people and have convinced the planet that the NPK process is the most important process when it comes to gardening and when it comes to food and when it comes to crops. And we can't feed the planet now because we've been listening to the NPK process. And here's another interesting fact that since we've started doing this, we have more flooding, more destroyed regions, higher population, less food value. The food coming out of the farms has almost nil, almost none, almost zero food value for us. So we're having to eat 10, 15, 20 times as much just to try and ink out a little bit of the nutritional food value that was actually there 50 years ago. But, you know, the chemical companies, wow, did they get rich? And the oil companies selling higher population, and we've burned out Africa. It's almost uninhabitable now. Nothing wants to grow. We're burning out a huge portion of America where food's no longer growing and dust bowls have returned. Yes, they've returned. These dust storms have returned again. That was something from before World War II, and it's come back again to haunt us. And nothing wants to grow in these regions without the NPK process being involved. And it's turning out ungodly foods. We're having to go to genetically modified plants that can't reproduce themselves on a year-to-year basis. And if, oh, by the way, any of the GMO happens to end up in your crops, they'll sue you and you owe them billions. And they'll put you right out of business. You'll no longer be a farmer, what have you. Because the wind blew and something germinated, and you now have a single crop, single portion of your crop that's infected by the GMO. Does it really matter? 4,000 years ago, without modern machinery, man created the Amazon rainforest in a desolate region that had zero, zero growth. Nothing of value would grow there. The soils were terrible. 4,000 years ago. Here we are since the 50s, and following the NPK process, we've nearly devastated an entire planet because we listened to these people, because we thought the scientists and our governments had our best interest at heart. Does it really matter? Is our government fixing Africa? Is our government fixing the central part of America where all of our food is supposed to come from to feed us in the rest of the world? Does it really matter? Or is there a bigger picture here that now that you're hearing this and now that you're thinking this through, something doesn't seem quite right? Something doesn't seem to quite fit. You know, I was watching Reaper Militia's walk in the woods yesterday, and as I looked at those trees, those poor trees, the first thing that caught my eye, and Reaper, I thank you for that video, and everybody, please go check this video. It's an incredible walk in the woods, and it's not for the content, but from the point of view of somebody organic, for you to walk up to that little creek running there and it to be running pristine clean, unlike any, does it really matter? When you're back in nature, rivers and creeks run pristine, golden clear water the way it's supposed to be. And the closer you get to the cities, the dirtier the water gets, the uglier the water gets, the more runoff, the more chemical pollution, the more dead fish, if any exist at all. No algae growth, nothing to control, nothing to filter, nothing to clean the water. All of it devastated, all of it gone. And this is where they want us all to move. They want us all corralled into these cities because the city life is the better life. There is more abundance. Well, is there? There's only 3 days worth of food in any grocery store. Does it really matter? Well, I say, hell yeah, it freaking matters. Somebody's got to step up, open a door, take a look inside, and wake the world up to what's going on here. If 4,000 years ago, without modern day machinery, man could step in and build hundreds of miles of rainforest that has survived 4,000 years and is exploding, exploding with life and new growth and unexplained and unexpected plants that are healthy and can be used in the food chain. And I, I've been asked to write an article about weeds, and I don't know that it's beneficial to me. I'm still kind of debating it. It'll take a few days to get it all together because organically speaking, weeds aren't the enemy. Maybe I should write the article. It. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck in my world, but I'm sitting back and I'm asking myself, as this is being asked of me, does it really matter? Yeah, I've taken 5 years of my life with this overwhelming drive to write this book, The Green Wizard's Guide. Does it really matter? No government is stepping up. Few individuals around the world are exploring other options and finding, organically speaking, there's better ways. I haven't talked about them. I haven't covered them. Sorry. Just need to swallow a coffee. I'm drying out here. So I've spent 5 years of my life dedicated to writing this book. It was overwhelming. It was consuming. Hell, it may have killed me. Who knows? And I'm working on the next book. I'm on chapter 7. There's a ways to go. I don't know. Does it really matter? I set my goals and said at 7,000, I know you guys want me to start the next book. And at 20,000, my life's going to change because I'm going to start looking for the farm to start training people and showing people a better way and showing people how well my system works. A very hard convert, elderly retired gentleman, has received my book and received it not very willingly, not very willingly, but he read the book and he gave it a chance. And he looked at a few things that he had not heard before. Now, understand, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, when the English got here, the Indians explained a lot of this information that's in this book to the dumb English that didn't understand being connected with nature. Reaper, you've walked the woods, you're connected, you get it, you see it every day, you understand what I'm talking about. The Indian way, the reading trails, finding abundance within the woods, and understanding there's a different way, there's a better way. The book's not moving. And that's why I say, does it really matter? Does it really matter that here's a convert, now proclaimed wizard, who took just a part of my book to his indoor plants and threw away the chemicals and is astounded with the results and cannot believe how good the plants look because they now look artificial. They're doing so well with one piece, one small portion of my book, just a little piece of information. Can you imagine? Can you imagine when this reaches 200,000 people, when this reaches 500,000 people, and they're all doing it in their homes and on their properties, and they're getting away from the chemicals and they're changing their environments for the better by going organic? Can you imagine? Well, let's imagine that. You're talking more rain abundance, you're talking less flooding, far less flooding. You're talking rivers turning back into pristine, beautiful, crystal clear, abundant life rivers because there's no more chemical runoff coming out of somebody's yard who wants to use Roundup to control a weed because they misunderstand, because they're still on the NPK process. They're still thinking the chemical companies have their best interest in heart. I kind of coined a phrase the other day. The chemical companies have you from table to table because they're feeding you the NPK process, which is making you sick, and they're feeding you the drugs before the surgery at the hospital so that they can cut you open and fix the problem that the food from the table that they sold you on made you sick by. You eat this food, you end up with cancer, you end up on a surgical table so that they can cut the cancer out of your body because it's killing you. Table to table, they've got you. Does it really matter? You know, 4,000 years ago, somebody had an idea and they went with the idea and they built the Amazon rainforest. When the original Sphinx was built, not the modified one that's there today where the head's been resculpted. Mathematically, it doesn't fit, so it can't be correct. Does it really matter? That's up to you. Seriously. That's up to you. This needs to be in your bug out bag. This needs to be in your home library. This needs to be in every gardener's hands. This needs to be in your garage. This needs to be the purpose for you to create a neighbor, because when he sprays his yard with his chemicals, they're going to infect and destroy your garden and your yard. Elegant Homestead did an incredible review yesterday and pointed out something, that not only are these people spraying this stuff on their yards to NPK improve their yard, but they and their kids and their pets are dragging these chemicals into their houses, and they are stuck breathing them, not washed away when the rain comes and destroying our rivers. It's now treaded into our carpets and treaded into our wood floors, and is cumulatively killing us over time, because we drag these chemicals, our kids drag these chemicals, our grandkids drag these chemicals, our pets drag these chemicals into our houses, and we don't even know they're there to wash them away. We've been on this planet for such a short period of time. Some absolutely incredible things have been built on this planet and are still here that cannot be explained. And here we are since 1950, and we've destroyed the place. We've destroyed it. So I spent 5 years of my life. Here's the end result: The Green Wizard's Guide. It's available on Amazon. Get it at Barnes and Noble. If it's not at Barnes and Noble, raise hell, make them get it, because everybody needs to have this book. Everybody needs to have this book, because if you effectively change your yard and your neighbor effectively changes his yard and your block, all of you on your block effectively change your yards, and then it becomes your neighborhood, then it becomes your city, then it becomes your county. Understand, please understand, the tricks in this book, the recipes in this book, these things work immediately. Where your garden ends up in 90 days, which is pretty much the fruition of most fruits and vegetables that we're harvesting, 90 days on my system. You've got foods that will blow your mind, and you've got a yard that will change everything around you. Diva Den, it applies. You have to kind of read between the lines, but it applies. Growing in your house and growing in your garden, or pot garden on your porch, is very, very doable. This will increase its ability. This is not the definitive gardening book that I'm working on, but the tricks that are in here will blow your mind. And yes, it will tremendously improve everything you do in that kind of garden. So, yeah, yeah, I only ask you to look at it from the other side of it. You want a good pot garden, I want good breathable air. If you're only looking at your pots and your plants, those are the only things producing oxygen in your whole area. What about your grass? What about your shrubs? What about your flower beds? What about your trees? So this is what I'm talking about. Does it really matter? 4,000 years ago, man created the Amazon rainforest. And here we are, 70 years now, we've been following the NPK process and we've destroyed the planet. It's nearly uninhabitable. Our government would have you believe that you need to pay for everything they have done by buying the chemicals that they're selling you, and that by giving them money, they're going to effectively tax it into being fixed. Now, I've never seen a tax dollar in my life fix anything. It's repaired, it's patched, but what the hell good is a band aid when you're having a heart attack? Does it really matter? Well, to me, hell yes, it freaking matters. Bobby came on yesterday screaming and yelling and ranting and raving because he knows how important this book is. And he knows the direction I've been pushed, and he knows how I've been abused, and he knows that this thing should be doing 1,000 times better, except for people's ignorance, except for people's greediness, except for people's, hey, you came help me. That's great. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming over and being a moderator, Ron, and helping my channel out. But if you get off my channel, I don't want to hear about your book. I was only there to be a mod. I don't like coming to people's channel and talk about my book. I don't. I don't. That's why I never talked about it the first year. A few people knew about it and ran around telling everybody he's lying, he's not writing a book, that doesn't exist. He's this, he's that, he's a scam artist, he's da 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 da. Okay. There's the book. Shut up. Swallow your words, take it all back, because now you've been proven a liar. And Bobby's pissed. Bobby's irate. You should hear him offline. Oh my God. Does it really matter? Hell yes, it matters. This book, in under 90 days, can save the planet. It matters. These tricks work immediately. It matters. The Native American Indians knew what the hell was going on, and the British were too hoity-toity, chasing their tea and paying their taxation to the Queen, called Bless the Queen, and didn't listen to the Indians that they killed off because they were in the way. This matters. This matters. We got two races on this planet, everybody, and we're killing everybody because we're following the NPK process. We're being taxed out of existence. We're being poisoned to death by the foods they're selling us in our grocery stores. But the government would have you believe you're responsible for what, a cow fart? And that's what's killing the planet. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Good morning, Mr. Brooks. Does it really matter? To me, it really does. Yeah. All right. I've spent 5 years of my life consumed by this book, and I can't scream loud enough to make people buy it. I can't hit people over the head with it. Hell, Bobby McNutt can't even give it away for free on his channel. This book legitimately can save the planet 1 yard at a time. Your yard, your neighbor's yard. Start in the smallest possible area. Diva Den, really, start in a small pot. I challenge you to read my book and take one of your pots and do cherry tomatoes in that pot and use your, I don't want to cuss, use your chemicals on the rest. The food taste difference from that one pot to the rest of the pots on the chemicals will blow your mind, and you will throw those other pots away. Because once you put those chemicals in them, they're destroyed. You can't reuse that stuff. It never washes out. So I challenge you. I challenge you to eat better food, go organic, and then come back and tell me that those tomatoes were terrible and that you get better at a grocery store. I challenge you, because that seems to be the only thing that motivates people. You have to be challenged. And I mean that with graciousness and love. I'm kidding. It's this is it's heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching when people say next month, next month, next month. Well, we've been next monthing for 70 damn years. And the planet is dying, everybody. Gaia is crying in the Native American tongue, because Gaia is watching us destroy the planet. Now you can go back and you can look at what the movie Avatar. Every plant relies on every other plant. That is so true in the organic world. The food web, which I still don't completely understand, because there's so much on a microscopic level that my screwed up eyesight, I take these, I can't even read your names. All I see is blue and white. That's how bad it is. And that's because I made the mistake of believing a doctor once to try and help my spine and try and help my headaches. And I agreed to take some steroids that was supposed to stop the migraines. Yeah, what it did was fucked up my eyesight permanently. I tell people I'm sorry at times because I don't keep up with the chat because I can't visually see it. They don't understand the chemical damage done to me in trying to solve my headache problem from a broken spine. It's my own issue. You're right. Rocky Brooks, you're right. Now that I've put that on. If you doubt my resolve, I'll use Rocky Brooks here. If you doubt my resolve and you doubt what's happening here, go watch the Walt Disney movie, WALL-E. I think that's the name of the movie. It's a robot. What appears to be the only working robot left on the planet, trying to clean up the planet, and it finds the one and only living plant left here on Earth because we destroyed the planet. 700 years it's going to take, per the movie WALL-E, for Mother Nature, for Gaia to turn around, come back, and start rebuilding this planet the way it was meant to be before man came along with his NPK process and killed it. You want proof that our planet's dying? Go to your local city, big city, and go to a local river. Tell me if you can see the bottom of it. There's your proof. That's all chemicals. That's all runoff. That's all everything. Runoff doesn't exist, people. It didn't used to up till 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, when we started coating this planet in chemicals. When man began to fly and they had the ability to start spraying from the air, that was the end of the food web. We started killing it. Did we know? No. Did the Indians know? Absolutely. But where were all the Indians? Oh, we killed them all off. They were all up on the reservations. They weren't talking anymore. We killed too many of them. So does it really matter? I can only go by the numbers. Should I keep going? Should I write this article for this blog about weeds? Should I even write the next book? Because it's not reaching the heart of people, and people are understanding what we've done. They're not understanding. 4,000 years ago, they knew they built a rainforest where nothing survived and nothing grew and nothing was there. And now it's an abundance of everything. And we're finding so many wild new things throughout the rainforest. So man can go down there and cut it down and build homes and turn out this and turn out that and turn it. Man needs to stop screwing around with this planet and start to fix it. Man needs to get the hell out of his own way, kick the government in the ass, start billing them for allowing this to truly happen. Go to your stores, go to your big box stores and demand they go organic or don't buy anything from them. When you kick them assholes, when you kick them in the wallet, maybe somebody's going to pay attention. Maybe somebody's going to listen. That's up to you. $15, $8 electronically. But you can't put an electronic in a bug out bag because when the grid goes down, so does the electronic. $15. I'm given. I don't make any money on this. You don't understand. People don't understand. $15, and you and your neighbors and your block and your neighborhood and your city and your county can change the world this year. This year. Not next year, not a planned, let's sit down with city council and figure this all out. And 5 years later, we'll finally have a bill in the books and we'll go and pass this law so that all of our trash cans are uniform. Well, let's stop and think about that. Am I still here? I saw it shut down and it said I came back, and let me know if I'm still here. The idiocracy of these trash cans. Look on the front of the trash can, everybody. That's a barcode. That's registered to your damn house. They're going to bill you for every pound of trash they're pumping into your house. The mailman delivers trash that ends up in the trash can, and you've got to pay another bill to have that stuff removed. If your city council has put those trash cans and mandatorily put them in your front yard, expect to get billed for every pound of trash. If you don't go organic and start getting rid of that stuff and dealing with it correctly, we have another big problem on our hands, everybody. We're going to have another bill for trash removal on top of everything else they're billing you for. Why don't you go after city council and make them fix the city? Shove this book up one of their asses and say, hey, look, change our city. Don't worry about our trash bill. We will fix our trash when your ordinances allow us to deal with it the way we used to. Because it was the ordinances that took that shit out. Because, oh my God, I smelled somebody's trash. They didn't burn it this week. Why don't you stop worrying about what your neighbors are doing and start fixing your own damn problems? Oh, guess what? Half your city council probably doesn't even live in the city anymore. Because the money that they're making from you and your tax dollars, giving them a salary to do a voluntary job, yes, voluntary job, has given them the money to move out of the city because the city's that bad they don't want to live there anymore. Yep, that's the reality of it. If your police department, your fire department, your city council, your city employees don't want to live in your city, why are you paying them to work in your city? I take pride in my city. I take pride in my yard. I'm fully organic. Those people come down my street spraying. I go out and stand in the middle of the damn street with my shotgun and tell them to turn that shit off and get it away from my fucking yard. I pay taxes to live here, and I don't want to be toxified by their poisons. And they turn their damn truck around and they leave. Because you're not going to come poison me. Absolutely not. That's what the farm is about. We're going to go hide in a place where it's safe, where there are no chemicals being sprayed, where they try and fly a plane over spraying chemicals on us. We'll shoot that damn thing down for trespassing in my airspace. That's how bad it is. Guess what, everybody? It's that kind of system that has killed the planet in the past 70 years. Killed the planet. I want you to go, anybody go. Please find the links. Show me. I already know. Show me aerial photos from prior to World War II of Africa, of America. Show me space pictures of this beautiful blue marble before man screwed it up. Because now it's all brown and burned out. It's been NPK'd to death. Your death. My death. They're still spraying. We got to stop it. Here's the problem. It's a biblical thing. Why should I worry about the speck in your eye when I have a log in my own? I have no business being in your business. So show your neighbors. Go to the process. Prove to the world there's a better way in under 90 days. The solution's in the book. You wanna bug out because that moment happens? Is your bug out area ready, all naturally ready to support you and your family? Do you have a garden area designated that is flourishing outside the NPK process? Remember, they're still spraying the entire planet, not just your street. That's where this matters to the outdoorsman. That's where this matters to the survivalist. This needs to be in the bug out bag because the information that's in here can repair those areas that they've been spraying and nobody has seen it because it's in the woods and nobody's there. Nobody hears a tree fall in the woods, but the bear that shit in the woods did. So I'll leave you with a challenge. Leave you with a challenge. Get your neighbor to buy the book. Discuss it. You'll be better neighbors. That's my challenge. Today's challenge is get your neighbor to read the book. If they're that kind of neighbor, you may not want to help them, but you're helping yourself because the air produced by their chemical fed yard is killing you. There's your challenge. Get this book in your neighbor's hands today. Can you accept that challenge? doesn't really matter. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you around the streams. Thank you for stopping in. Have a good one.